issue. And since COVID and the following inflationary pressure on purchasing power, what we have noticed is that the data points to an increase of illicit at global level. It is a point of concern for us, you know? Especially in countries where, and you heard that today, we do not have comprehensive regulatory framework on the total nicotine industry in order to make sure that all the smokers have access to better alternatives instead of going into illicit cigarettes. Because once a smoker goes into illicit cigarettes, the smoker is locked into illicit channels with very low price, with no information about better alternatives like the smoke-free products that we discussed intensively today, and three, will be locked in that channel with cigarettes forever. So there is no turning back unless government changes the whole regulation. Now, in the Central America and Andean region, let me take a few examples. You have extremely high illicit trade incidence in cigarettes in Panama, for instance. Over 90%. What does that mean? 9 cigarettes out of 10 are illicit in Panama. 9 cigarettes out of 10, I repeat because I don't see any reaction, are illicit.
So my question actually was, when you say illicit, do you mean, is it just that it's like not brand, or is it that it has been brought into the country illegally? What do you mean when you say illicit?
Illicit means does not comply with the local laws and regulations. So that includes counterfeit, so fake. That includes cigarettes that are smuggled from country A to country B.
Right.
And that includes what we call illicit whites, which are cigarettes manufactured typically in China, India, Korea, Paraguay, in the region, and that are meant primarily to be smuggled into destination markets. All of these do not pay taxes. Huh?
Right.
And that is a major issue, particularly, and I come back to my earlier point, in times when governments have to have a lot of challenges with the budget deficits. Because what happens is in a country like Panama or a country like Ecuador, where we are above 80%, it's not too far from Panama, that means that the governments do not collect taxes on all these illicit products. What does that mean? That means that they will compensate with other taxes paid by taxpayers. So as a citizen, I'm a French citizen, 40% of the cigarettes consumed in France do not pay taxes. 4 out of 10. What does that mean? That means that the French government has to compensate that loss in government revenues with higher taxes somewhere else. This is what illicit cigarette means. But I insist, what is important is how do you make sure you build a comprehensive regulatory framework that does not push smokers into illicit cigarettes, because SFPs, the smoke-free products, would be banned, but that has a comprehensive view on the total nicotine and a regulation that is favorable, conducive to smokers of harmful cigarettes, the most harmful way to absorb nicotine, to switch to better alternatives. And here I am talking about heated tobacco products, e-vaping products, and nicotine pouches. This is what we offer and are possible, and where we see countries have done it. You've seen Sweden, you've seen Japan, you've seen Poland, you've seen Romania. All these countries have done it. Japan has cut its smoking prevalence. What was the speed of reduction of Sweden, reduction of smoking prevalence? By half. half. Thanks to what? Thanks to a holistic regulatory framework, including tax calendars, visibility, higher taxes on cigarettes, lower taxes on smoke-free alternatives, in order to promote the switch, access for the smokers to information on these new products, new categories, etc. So all this has to be done. And I would add strong enforcement against illicit.
So when the, let's say, normal cigarettes are allowed and the smokeless options are prohibited, what effect does that have on illicit trade?
Well, I will tell you something. Prohibition does not work. Do you know Al Capone?
Al Capone.
Al
Oh, Al
Capone?
Capone.
What is Al Capone? Al Capone was created by bad government policy that was prohibition of alcohol. In many countries, including, talking about Panama, because I've been there a few times, consumers are demanding for better alternatives, for vapes, for heated tobacco, for nicotine pouches. These are proven scientifically to be less harmful. Why would a government ban it, give the only alternative to smokers to be illicit cigarettes, and not offer those better alternatives in a regulated manner, making sure that the vaping liquids, devices, the nicotine pouches, or the heated tobacco products are of a certain regulated quality standard that is then controlled, enforced by government, because that is the duty of the government to protect consumers, right? But if everything is illicit, there's no control. So you end up with smokers either going to illicit cigarettes or going to illicit smoke-free products. And there goes criminal proceeds, there goes corruption, there goes a whole lot of other crimes, you know?
Which is the situation in the United States?
From which perspective?
Yeah, perspective illegal tobacco.
Illicit, so illicit
The
cigarette
trade.
has been an issue. It has been an issue over the years. It is not a country where we have business in the cigarette segment, in the cigarette category in the US. We don't sell cigarettes. Altria, so you would know Altria and Philip Morris International are two separate companies. Altria is selling cigarettes in the US. So we don't have information or data, we don't do research in the US on cigarettes. However, what we've done is we have acquired a company called Swedish Match, which has a very fast-growing product that is called, in the nicotine pouch segment, that is branded Zyn, that is extremely popular in the US. But I unfortunately cannot comment on illicit cigarettes.
Are these tobacco smugglers organized crime for you?
Of course. Of course. 100%. Well, you have to take a step back, and if you look at the price of the pack of cigarettes, you have maybe 60 to 80% of the retail price that is taxes. So if you're a counterfeiter or a smuggler, you take one container, of illicit or counterfeit cigarettes, let's say. The cost of manufacturing is about 20 cents per pack. So for a container, it is about $100,000 cost of production, yeah? And you move that to a country, let's say, that has average level of taxes. I'm not even talking about the UK or France, which is extremely high. I'm talking average taxes. The counterfeiter will make at least $2 million net profit on one container. Now, back to your question. If with investing 100,000 in buying counterfeit cigarettes, you make 2 million profit, that's a good business. That's a criminal business. That's a criminal enterprise. It is an international criminal enterprise where products are manufactured, counterfeited in one country to be smuggled into a destination, another destination country.
Okay.
So I have one more question. Earlier with the other group, you said, as far as you know, and PMI products are not involved in any kind of illicit trade anywhere.
In Brazil.
Oh, in Brazil in particular.
Oh yeah, I thought we were talking about Brazil.
Oh no, I meant in general.
Oh, in general.
Yeah.
We have illicit trade issues in some parts of the world, particularly in some areas where you have a major price differential between two countries, yeah, or, and that is also the point of all my speech, is in banned countries you have consumer demand for our products because they see it available in neighboring countries, so they want it. And because they demand, as consumers, those products, there is an incentive for criminal networks to supply that demand in a very illegal manner. And so, yes, some of our products are smuggled from a country to another where it is banned. Now, obviously, we work with the authorities about it to do two things. One is to help them tackle it, because we have zero interest in having our products being smuggled into a country without knowing in what conditions they're transported, where they were sourced, how they're sold, stored, etc. And making sure that, you heard that several times today, it's not just quality,
Name.
that it does not go into the hands of
children, youth.
under legal age. Because if it's illicit, you cannot control who's buying. If a kid goes to a street vendor will likely not ask for an ID, but just sell. Yeah? Whereas with our legitimate distribution in the country where we operate, we have trainings of the trade, we have reminders, and hopefully we also have law enforcement enforcing those rules. Yeah? As soon as our products go out of our legitimate supply chain, for example, to supply demand in a country where this product or this category is banned, then it becomes a major issue for us. Right? So yes, we do see that.
I'm good.
Thank you.